You're listening to the Kilcullen Diary podcasts, stories in sound from a village grown bigger. Hello, you're listening to On This Day with Brian Byrne. It's Thursday, 18th of June, 2020. On this day in 1264, the first recorded session of an Irish Parliament sat in Castledermot in County Kildare. The event had been called to determine if the Archbishop Fulk de Sandeford had the rights to hold court and dispense justice. He was in contention with the then Lord of Ireland, Prince Edward, son of Henry III. Though it was more of an inquisition than a parliament in the modern sense, the Castledermot Parliament is accepted as the original of a line of such institutions in this country from Norman times to the 19th century. Among these were the General Assembly of the Confederation of Kilkenny from 1642 to 1649, the Patriot Parliament of 1689, and Grattan's Parliament from 1782 to 1800. At that point, the British government in London persuaded the Irish Parliament to pass the Act of Union, thus voting itself out of existence. That original Parliament in Castledermot was typical of those held in England under the centralised administrations established by the Normans. The South Kildare town was at the time an important centre in the Normans' settlement of Ireland, as well as having a strong religious presence. The people at such meetings were not elected, but represented landowning knights and those with rights as jurors. It was traditional that the bishops were amongst those summoned to participate, reflecting the strong governmental role of the church in those times. Because the Irish government records dating back to the 12th century were destroyed in 1922 in a civil war explosion at the Four Courts in Dublin, there is no official record remaining of that Castledermot meeting. But fortunately, the Archbishop de Sandeford had his own chronicler at the event, and this report ended up in the so-called Black Book of Christchurch, which is the register of diocesan archives of Dublin and Glendalough from the 12th to the 14th century. This manuscript is normally on display to the public in the crypt of Christchurch Cathedral in Dublin. Archbishop de Sandeford is buried in nearby St. Patrick's Cathedral. The precise location of that first Parliament in Castledermot is not known, but a subsequent established Parliament House is said to have been built on the site now occupied by a pub in the town, the Leinster Arms. That first Parliament was held in the reign of Henry III of England, and subsequent convocations sat in Castledermot between 1378 and 1396 in the reign of Richard II for 4 sessions, and between 1488 and 1509 under King Henry VII for 2 sessions. In all, Irish parliaments were summoned by some 21 different British monarchs until the last one in 1800. Most of them were in Dublin, but the earlier ones were itinerant, meeting in various other important towns around the country. On the occasion of the official 750th anniversary of the Castledermot Parliament in 2014, the matter led to some contentious exchanges in Shannon. Sinn Féin's Trevor O'Flaherty objected to official statements in the Upper House on the event, describing the original meeting as one of English colonisers and descendants of robber barons and their followers. Fianna Fáil's Thomas Byrne said the Parliament had no relationship with the people of Ireland of the time and was the start of the subjugation of the country. On the other side, Shannon leader Maurice Cummins of Fine Gael described the event as a unique milestone in the history of national and international parliamentary democracy. One wonders what were the parliamentary language protocols of that meeting which opened 756 years ago on this day. Polite and gentlemanly, or barbed and raucous? I'm Brian Byrne. Thanks for listening.